Hello everyone, I'm Cannistra. Thank you so much again for joining me on my weekly movie news show here on WCPT Gettysburg. We got a lot of great topics today, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first topic we have today is a fairly obvious one, so I assume a lot of you watching or listening to the show are aware that the Oscars were held last Sunday, and obviously there's been a lot of complications with this year's Academy Awards, everything from the Academy announcing they're going to introduce the best popular film category, then scrapping that, then Kevin Hart being announced as the host, and never mind, we found 10-year-old tweets, so he's not going to be the host anymore, and all that drama. The Academy announcing that they weren't going to air a few awards, those being Best Editing and Best Cinematography, and a couple of other ones, and then saying, oh, never mind, we're still going to air those during the show. And pretty much the Academy made all these announcements and went back on all their decisions. And a lot of people, including myself, kind of thought that this was not going to be a great show for a number of reasons, the main one of which being a host. I mean, it's been 30-something years since the last time the Academy didn't have a host, so we all kind of thought, yeah, this is going to be kind of a mess of a show, especially with the pattern with the Academy that we've seen over the past 6 months. But I gotta be honest, like, the show was not all that bad. It had a really nice pace to it. I felt like it went a lot quicker than it usually does. I mean, don't get me wrong, the show still needs to be shortened up quite a bit. It still went clocked in about 3.5 to 4 hours. It's still way too long and unnecessarily too long. So I think there are still some things that the Academy can do to tighten up. I gotta be honest, I'm kind of liking this route that they're going without a host. And look, do I think they'll have a host next year, or at least attempt to get a host next year? Yes, I do. And I think that's a good move. But I think what we have seen with the Academy not having a host this year for the awards is that you don't really need them to have all that big of a role. Look, ideally, I would have liked to have a host to maintain some consistency throughout the show. I said that from the very beginning, and I stand by that statement. I wish that they had a host. Doesn't change the fact that this year's Academy Award show I thought was actually quite good, but I still think it could have benefited from having a host. But here's what I think they should do. Have the host come out and do a quick monologue for a few minutes, and then come back out, maybe do a couple of gags like they usually do every year at the Academy Awards, but don't have them come out like 10, 15 times. Have them come out like 2, 3, maybe 4 times max. Shorten up their role. That also makes sure that we have a host, but also shortens up the show a bit, which is something that I think that the Academy Awards really needs to do. Another thing that I think they need to do to tighten up the awards, and I'm just going to go through a couple of things here and like pretty much just say like some things I liked about the Academy Awards, some things that I think that they need to work on it to tighten up the show. Another thing that they need to do is cut out the best songs. It is so unnecessary that the Academy feels the need to perform all 5 songs that are nominated for Best Original Song live at the Oscars. I've never understood that mentality. Look, Best Original Song is an important category at the Academy Awards. It does play an important role in film. But at the end of the day, it's 3 minutes. It is 3 minutes out of a 2-hour something long movie usually. It's not necessary to have every single original song performed at the Oscars. So I think maybe they just need to get rid of all of them. If they really want to perform 1 or 2 of like the fan favorite songs to get the viewings up at home. But other than that, get rid of like 3 or 4 of them, perform 1 or 2. I think it's really time. And I think this year's Academy Awards kind of showed that nobody really cared that much about the music anyways. Look, you had Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga come out and sing Shallow from A Star Is Born. I'll admit, had fun with that. Really enjoyed that. But at the end of the day, I still would have been okay if they didn't do it. And then you had, I don't know why they even bothered doing this. You had some person that I honestly had never heard of come out and sing Emily Blunt's song from Mary Poppins Returns, Where the Lost Things Go, which I did not understand at all. Why are you having someone else perform the song? You have Emily Blunt, who would probably be willing to do it. Maybe she wasn't, I don't know. But that just struck me as kind of odd. So look, while I liked a couple of the performances like Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, I still would be fine if they didn't have them, but I understand why they have them. I get it, but I'm not thrilled with it. And then the last and third thing is that, look, I think this is going to be a very unpopular thing to say, but at the end of the day, I think they need to do something to tighten up these best short film categories. Best short documentary, best short film, live action, and best short film animated. Look, they are very important categories, and I honestly have no problem with them being presented at the live show. But I think there are a couple of ways that you can tighten up the show and still have those presented. One of which is the unpopular thing, I know, but have them presented during a commercial break. Look, the reality is most people at home don't care. They don't care about the short films because they have no way of seeing them, and they really don't hear about them at all. So why would they really have any interest? So I think these three or four categories are a few categories that you can present during the commercial break and will cause too much uproar. The second option that I kind of like too is that I saw another film pundit by the name of John Campia. And he said something really interesting that I really liked. It's like, have them all presented at the same time. Have the presenters come out and kind of do like just like 3 minutes, be like, the best short filmmaking is a noble pursuit, blah 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 blah. Whether it's animated, live action, or documentary, these are all very important. And then announce the nominees for best live action, but have the best live action short people in the back of the stage, so we don't have to see the entire walk, seeing them walking from the very back of the stage. That takes up like 2 or 3 minutes each. There, you shaved off 10 minutes. So let them have their full acceptance speech, but just don't have the presenters go off stage, the winner walk up. That's the whole thing. Keep the presenters on stage for each short category. Have the nominees backstage so they can quickly walk up and receive the award and give their speech, and then we can move on. That way, everyone still gets their moment in the spotlight, but yet we still shave about 10 minutes off of the Academy Award show, which, as I know, doesn't seem like a lot, but at the end of the day, 10 minutes starts to add up, and if the Academy can find little 10-minute ways to trim the show down, we might see it get down to a 2.5-hour, 3-hour show, which is where I think the sweet spot is, and where I think the show really should be relatively soon. But overall, the show itself was really good. No big surprises with the actual show. Kind of better than I thought it was going to be. It had a nice flow to it, went by very quickly. So no complaints from me. Now let's take a minute to talk about the winners and some of the surprises at the Academy Awards. Now, one of the biggest ones, which is really surprising to me, and I'll go into it more in a minute, is that Green Book won Best Picture. Look, I thought Roma was going to win Best Picture. Just everything seemed to be going that way. There are a lot of people talking about how Roma's probably going to win. A lot of people, film pundits, were saying on their official Oscars prediction that Roma was going to win. So I thought that's good. That was could be the lock, and that was my prediction too. I thought Roma was going to win. So I was kind of surprised. Look, granted, I did not make it through the entire show. I had a test I needed to take in the morning, so I did not stay up until 11:30 to finish watching the Oscars. I wish I could have, but I didn't. But I looked at my iPad the first thing when I woke up, and I saw Green Book had won the award for Best Picture. And you know what? I was actually really happy about that. I saw Green Book, and I thought Green Book was great. Look, is it the most sensitive film about racism? Does it break new ground? No. And that's not what the movie is really supposed to be, or really what the movie is about. Look, the main complaint I see from people is about Green Book winning Best Picture is that this movie does not deal with racism well. It kind of just glosses over the whole thing. And look, this film does deal with racism. It does. Does it deal with it in the most original, most unique way possible? No, it doesn't. It's the ways that it deals with racism are things that we have done before. I agree with people about that. It's not the most original. It doesn't show how harsh and the really horrible reality that minorities in America faced from racism in the 1950s. But I would argue the reason for that is that it doesn't really dig deep into that. Is that is not the real issue of this story. The real story of Green Book is these two guys from two completely different backgrounds. You have this white Italian guy from New York that's kind of like stuck in his ways and is kind of a racist at times. And then you have this African American guy who's a musician. He's very rich. He's a lot more well off than this Italian guy is, but they bond together over the span of a few months on this long car ride as Tony Vallelonga is driving Dr. Shirley around for his different concerts throughout that start in the north and then gradually go into the deep south. The story of this movie is about those two characters, Dr. Shirley and Vallelonga. That is why the movie won Best Picture, not because of how it deals with racism, but because of the bond between these two guys. These two guys from two completely different backgrounds coming together, finding some common ideals, and then eventually by the end of the movie, seeing that, well, I thought I was right and stuck in my ways, and the other guy was right and stuck in his ways, but they both see, no, we were wrong to think that way. We both have unique and different backgrounds that we can both learn from. By the end of the movie, both of these guys learn from each other. Both of these guys gain experiences from each other that they probably never thought they were going to have. And that's why I would argue Green Book does deserve the award for Best Picture. Look, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you Green Book is the best movie to come out in the last 10 years or the best movie to win Best Picture in the past 10 years. I'm not going to say that at all. But in the year with the Academy Award nominees that we had for Best Picture, in my opinion, I thought Green Book was the most deserving of that award. And I really don't understand this backlash also because it kind of did seem like for a while Green Book was going to win at the Academy Awards. And look, I did think Roma was going to win, I thought Green Book still had a somewhat of a decent chance at winning. Because I can't remember exactly what it won, but it won some very major awards. It won the Producers Guild of America Award for Best Picture. It won a People's Choice Award at TIFF. A bunch of others that are pretty significant awards, and yet no one batted an eye when it won those awards. Even some of those awards are pretty prevalent in the film industry, and when pundits think about them, they think, yeah, if a film wins this award, there's a very good chance it will win Best Picture. And to the best of my knowledge, I saw no one fighting back who was winning all these other major film awards, so I'm not entirely sure why. When the film was announced as Best Picture at the Oscars, like, uproar, we gotta fight this is not okay. Like, I don't agree with that. The film deserved the recognition and the praise that it got. It was a great movie. So, I don't understand this mentality. Look, I see where people are coming from with when they say how it deals with racism is not the best way, and I don't disagree with that. But the movie is more than that, and I feel like a lot of these people who are fighting against the movie, I hate to say it, but didn't actually see it, because the box office result was not huge for it. Which is not surprising, and that's nothing against the film, but the box office result was not all that high. So I really don't agree with all these people fighting against it, because I also feel like some of them might not even have seen the movie. Before you get all mad about that, that is a precedent that has happened before. People have bashed a movie and have never seen it. And fully admittedly have never seen it. So I feel like that could definitely be contributing to what is going on. Look, and like I said before, at the end of the day, Green Book is a really, really solid movie, and I think it deserves the award for Best Picture this year. But this is one of those years where there was no film that was like, yes, that deserves the Academy Award for Best Picture. No doubt, no question, if it doesn't win, it's a snub. That wasn't that kind of year. And with the movies that we had a lot of great movies in 2018. I feel like Green Book was the most deserving. I don't agree with the criticism, and I don't understand why this criticism wasn't more prevalent earlier when it was winning other major awards. That's all my thoughts on that. Just let me know what you think in the comments section. YouTube video, do you agree Green Book should have won? Are you really against it winning? Let me know your thoughts, because I'm open to having my opinion changed. Okay, so the next topic we have today is the new trailer for X-Men Dark Phoenix officially dropped online along with this official poster, and the poster's really cool. I like it, so I'll talk about the poster first before I talk about the trailer. Just have like an X, and then you have Jean Grey in the middle, and then on one side you have Cyclops, you got Charles, you have Mystique, you have Storm, you got Quicksilver, I think, and a couple of other people, and they're clearly the good guys. And on the other side you have Magneto, and surprisingly, if you saw the first trailer, this really doesn't come as all that much of a big surprise. You got Beast, and then a couple of other people. I'm actually not entirely sure who they are. And in the middle you have Jean Grey, and she's split in half. On the bad guy's side, you have her clearly influenced by the Phoenix Force, and then on the other side of her, you have her in her X-Men costume. So overall, like, I don't really like talking that much about posters unless there's something really crazy going on with it, but I think it's a cool poster. I like it significantly better than all the floating heads that we always see now. You know what I'm talking about? Like, just like see the head and like edit in a cool way. Like, they're cool sometimes, but you get tired of them. This is a nice change of pace, having the X, having the good on one side, the bad on one side, and then Jean split along the middle, which does come into play later in the trailer. I think it's a cool poster. I like it. And then obviously when we get a new poster, usually the next day or two, we get a new trailer, and this is no different. We officially got the second trailer for X-Men Dark Phoenix, and I like it. It's not the best trailer I've ever seen for a superhero movie. It's not the best trailer for a superhero movie I've seen this year, but it's a really solid trailer. Now, let me talk about what I thought about this trailer first, and I'm going to go into some other things that have affected my excitement for this film. Alright, so what I liked about it. X-Men are going to space. Cool. We got some more comic accuracy with the Phoenix Force and Jean Grey, with her actually getting it from space. And I like how we're finally seeing the X-Men as an established team in this new continuity of films. We started with X-Men First Class. We started with X-Men Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, which Apocalypse finally kind of started to establish a team. And then by the end of it, we had it. And then this is the very first movie where we get to see the X-Men fully assembled and as a team. So that I like. We see them going to space as a team. I remember a report coming out. I think some people saw like an extended sneak peek of it at a Comic-Con. I think it might have been New York Comic-Con or something, where the X-Men are going to rescue some people in space, and something bad happens, and that bad thing happening is Jean getting infected with the Phoenix Force. So I thought that was cool. Jean kind of losing control, and then the X-Men feeling conflicted about what to do with her, I find really interesting too. Because clearly, and look, I think this was a really bad idea with what I'm about to say. So there's anybody who's really sensitive to spoilers, just tune out for a second, because the trailer really does spoil something kind of major and significant. The trailer pretty much reveals that Mystique dies pretty early on in this movie, which I think was a mistake. Look, we got some hints in this first trailer that Mystique was going to die, with like Hank getting really mad at Charles, saying, this is all your fault, Charles, blah, 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 stuff like that. But it's not like clearly saying Mystique dies. It was hinting at it. We could kind of infer what was going to happen. This trailer like just gets rid of all that. It pretty much just says Mystique is going to die. Because we have this, the trailer opens with, and granted, I do like what they're doing here. I just think that they shouldn't have revealed this in the trailer. I think it was a really bad idea, and it seems a little desperate that they spoiled this in the trailer. But again, I want to clarify, I did like it. Just wish they didn't show it. So you have Jean just like kind of talking to herself and saying, why did you do that? She was our friend, and then throwing Mystique like across the street. And then you have Cyclops, who obviously Cyclops and Jean have a relationship in the comics, and it's been hinted at throughout the movies too. And Cyclops is like, what are we going to do? We have to save Jean. And Eric Luncher, who's Magneto, pretty much says, no, Jean has to die. And I like that conflict that I think they're going to have, because you have Jean, who's clearly a good person and clearly the friend of Cyclops, Charles, and all of them. But then you have someone like Magneto, who sees Jean, or the Dark Phoenix, as a threat, and rightfully so. She's like tries to destroy the world, like at some point probably. At least she does in the comics. So I could see Eric's point of view saying, no, we need to get rid of Jean, and Cyclops saying, no, we need to help save Jean because she's still a good person. So I really like that. But other than that, there's really not a whole lot to talk about in this trailer. I mean, it's pretty standard comic book fair trailer. You get some fighting, but I did like that we got some more of what the actual story of this movie is actually going to be about. They're definitely not hiding the story, for one thing. I think that a lot of people online have been criticizing the trailer for not revealing enough of the story, and for me, they revealed enough. I don't really want to know too much more about it. I feel like they revealed the right amount. So beyond the trailer, though, there's been this ongoing debate that X-Men Dark Phoenix is not very good. There's a few pundits that I watch. Their names are, as I mentioned before, actually, with the Oscars topic. His name is Sean Campia. And he has a co-host on the show named Robert Meyer Burnett. And they have sources that have claimed that they have heard that X-Men Dark Phoenix is not great. And look, I am taking it with a grain of salt. I do trust them. I trust what they say. They're usually pretty accurate with that, but it does make me a little bit concerned that they are reporting that X-Men Dark Phoenix is not going to be very good. And honestly, it does kind of make sense at this point. Look, they have literally, this is the director's very first movie ever. Look, his name's Simon Kinberg, I think. He has written a majority of the X-Men films. He knows the X-Men very well. But he's never directed anything before. And the thing I like to say is, like, I know the Marvel Cinematic Universe pretty well. You don't want me anywhere near a project directing it. And I would have liked to see Simon Kinberg direct something, anything, before directing a big budget X-Men movie. So that's been one of my main concerns, is that they have a very first-time director. And then we've heard that the release date's been pushed back twice. It was supposed to come out this summer, I believe. And then it was pushed back to February. And then it was pushed back again to June. And that was reportedly because of reshoots, and not very minor reshoots. Like, reshoots are very normal now. Like, I don't want to get into a habit of panicking, saying, oh, they're doing reshoots, that means this movie's going to be bad. No. That it's not the mentality anymore. Big budget movies build in reshoots into their shooting schedules and their budgets. But when you're reshooting a majority of the movie, it does become concerning, which is why I believe some of these people that I've heard saying that X-Men Dark Phoenix is not going to be great. It doesn't change the fact that I really like this trailer and really find it enjoyable, and I'm still looking forward to seeing this movie when it comes out, but I am remaining cautiously optimistic about it Look, the reality is there's been so many good X-Men movies. Deadpool, Deadpool 2, Logan, X-Men, X2, X-Men First Class, X-Men Days of Future Past. Fox has produced some of the best comic book movies of all time. So Fox has earned my right to trust them when it comes to X-Men. I am slightly concerned, but I do have faith that this movie's going to be good. Anyways, guys, so what do you think about this new poster or in the new trailer that dropped earlier today? Just let me know in the comment section. Are you looking forward to it? Are you not looking forward to it? Are you bummed that this actually could be the last X-Men movie produced by Disney? Because it sounds like Disney is going to be fully acquiring Fox pretty soon. This might be the last hurrah for Fox X-Men movies. So let me know what you think in the comments. Alright, so the next topic we have today is that there's been this whole thing with Captain Marvel going around the past couple of days. So pretty much what happened with this is this. The story goes that people, like standard audience members, have been going to Rotten Tomatoes and giving Captain Marvel bad reviews. And look, if you don't like a movie, there is absolutely, no matter what the film is, there is no issue with anybody going to Rotten Tomatoes and saying they didn't like the film. When I begin to have an issue with that is when people who have never seen the movie gather in an organized effort to go and downvote it and go say online that they are not looking forward to this. And I think it's really horrible. So as a result of this, so pretty much what happened is this. The standard number on Rotten Tomatoes for people who are looking forward to seeing a movie is usually in the high 90s. Like 99% of people say, yeah, looking forward to this movie. Recently, there was an organized effort on Rotten Tomatoes to go and downvote Captain Marvel, and it got down to like 23-something%. So as a result of this, Rotten Tomatoes decided to get rid of this feature for upcoming films, and I think it's a good move. I do not listen to... Hold on one second, guys. I just need to grab a sip of water quickly. Sorry about that. Okay. So, I have no issue with people saying that they're not looking forward to a movie, but where it becomes an issue for me is when you have these people organizing themselves and going onto Rotten Tomatoes and downvoting Captain Marvel to prove something about themselves because they have some sort of issue with this movie while they have not seen it. And I really do applaud Rotten Tomatoes for taking a step to try and fix this. Look, the reality is people can still go and downvote Captain Marvel once the movie comes out. What Rotten Tomatoes did is get rid of this. I'm not really sure what the name for it is, but there's a thing that you can go to for upcoming movies on Rotten Tomatoes. It pretty much just says, are you looking forward to this movie, yes or no? Rotten Tomatoes got rid of that, which I think is a good move. And I applaud them for that because they realized that this was an issue on their site and they decided to fix it. What I think that they need to do one step further is get rid of the audience scores altogether. Audience scores are never reliable. They are never something that you want to look at because people with agendas, and I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but there are people, film fans out there with agendas who go and downvote movies that they don't like because they have an agenda. Example, I guarantee you it's going to happen with Captain Marvel. Somebody's going to go on and say, oh, this is Marvel's SJW propaganda because it has a woman lead, and it's like, really? So Marvel makes one movie with a female lead and everyone loses their minds. But then nobody says anything when Marvel makes over 20 films with white guy leads. Sorry, but I mean, maybe the people who are against Captain Marvel are the ones with the agenda, not Marvel. But anyways, that's another conversation for another time. So I think that Rotten Tomatoes made a good move with this whole thing. And the other thing I wanted to talk about with Captain Marvel is, for those of you who don't know, Zachary Levi, who is currently playing Shazam in the DCEU, he also did play a Marvel character. I can't remember exactly who he played, but he was someone in Thor, someone that Thor fought with in a war. Anyways, currently he is in the DCU playing Shazam. And he came out and defended Brie Larson. I thought that was really cool of him to do that. Pretty much defending some of these comments that Brie Larson made. And I'm not going to read them verbatim, but pretty much she misspoke. And she clarified her comments about what she said and how she wants more seats at the table at press junkets other than white men. She wants more women, more diversity included in them. And I agree with her. Now, the statement that she said came off really, really wrong. But people did blow it out of proportion. And I think it got to an extent now where people are like getting pissed at Brie Larson saying she's anti-men and stuff like that. And Zachary Levi came out and defended her. I thought that was really cool. And let's be clear, I saw the statements, I saw the interviews. I don't think Brie Larson, who is playing Captain Marvel, was bashing anybody, race, gender, or anything. She said, look, it is very difficult to be in the spotlight all the time and talk all the time to press. You are going to mess up eventually. You are going to say something that you will regret. And Brie Larson did that. And she apologized, and she has moved on, and she has done interviews to clarify those statements that she made. Yet people still keep going on about it, saying Brie Larson doesn't like white guys. It's like, no, okay, I saw the statement. She kind of did say that, but that's not what she meant, and she clarified. And you know what? When you look at what Brie Larson's clarified statement was, she is actually right. And I 100% agree with her. So, for anyone out there who has issues with Brie Larson and what she's been doing lately, I think you need to take a step back and just think, okay, this is what she said. This is what's happening. Maybe we should hear her out. She probably didn't mean what she said, and we should maybe move on from that. And people really don't seem to be doing that lately. And when it comes to the point where another celebrity, Zachary Levi, has to come out and defend her, doesn't that say something about what's going on right now? That so many people get mad at Brie Larson for saying one thing, and then they go and start downvoting Captain Marvel on Rotten Tomatoes to the point where it gets to be like 23% people looking forward to it because of an organized effort. It's just crazy to me. People really need to relax. And at the end of the day, it's a movie. It's a movie. So just relax. Put your energy and effort towards someone else. I know it's coming from the guy who's doing a radio show right now talking about movies, but that's because I like it. I get enjoyment out of it. The second I didn't get enjoyment out of doing this, I would stop doing it. And people taking enjoyment and the fun out of all these movies, and I will really never fully understand why. And look, that's not to take away from anybody who is generally not looking forward to Captain Marvel, because I will fully admit also, I do not think the trailers for this film have been great. They've been okay. They've been solid okay, but nothing outstanding, and I completely understand why there would be some people out there who are not looking forward to this movie. I don't agree with it, but I am very much looking forward to this movie, but the trailers, honestly, have not blown me away. I think that they've been good, but I don't think that they've been great, and also I have a lot of faith in Kevin Feige that he's going to make a great movie. And we've already seen a couple of critic reactions coming out from social media saying that the movie's really good. I've also heard saying that, like, if you are excited for Avengers Endgame now, just wait until you see Captain Marvel, because apparently people are even more excited for Avengers Endgame after seeing Captain Marvel. I just want to clarify. I don't want to take away from anyone who's genuinely not looking forward to this movie. But the fact of the matter is, there are a lot of people out there who are not looking forward to Captain Marvel because of Brie Larson and some stupid comments that she said a few months ago. They were dumb. Or there's some people out there who are not looking forward to it because Brie Larson is a woman and she's leading this movie, and some people think that Marvel has an agenda against men, which is just not the case at all and really dumb. So I just encourage you guys to look forward to this movie. Don't look past everything that's going on. And if you're not looking forward to this movie, that is totally fine. As long as it's not, you think Marvel has an agenda. If you're just not looking forward to it because the trailers didn't look good or you're not interested in the character or anything like that, totally fine. But anyways, let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this. I'd be really curious to hear some of your thoughts. Alright, so the last topic of the day is an interesting one. So a report came out, I can't remember exactly from what magazine, but it's being reported that Avengers Endgame is reportedly looking at having like over a $280 million weekend on opening weekend, which would just be insane. And look, do I think that Avengers Endgame is going to be a 280 something opening weekend? No, I really, really doubt it. That would not just break the all-time record, it would blow it out of the water. But I do think that there's a very good possibility that Avengers Endgame does break the record that was set by Avengers Infinity War on opening weekend. For the main reason is, look, everyone's like freaking out saying, oh my god, where's the Avengers Endgame trailer? Oh my gosh, where's the Avengers Endgame trailer? Where's the Avengers Endgame trailer? You know what? The best trailer that you probably didn't even know what was the trailer? Avengers Infinity War. Anyone who went to go see Avengers Infinity War is probably insanely excited and already planning on buying their tickets to Avengers Endgame. And that's why it's going to break the record. That's why Avengers Endgame is going to break the record. Because everyone who saw Avengers Infinity War wants to see what happens next. And Marvel's done such a good job with the marketing of Avengers and everything like that that I really do think that Avengers Endgame has a very high possibility of breaking the all-time box office record for a domestic opening weekend. Is it going to be 280 million? Probably not. That is a very, very high number. But do I think that Avengers Endgame will break the record? Yeah, I do. I really do. I feel a lot of excitement. I feel a lot of buzz for this movie that I have not felt for a long time. I feel more, I've seen more buzz and feel like people are more excited than they were for Infinity War. And you know what? That's going to boost the box office. If more people are excited for Endgame after seeing Infinity War, that is nothing but good news for Disney. But you know who wins at the end of the day? Disney. Because if Avengers Endgame becomes the second highest grossing movie of all time, guess what? The highest grossing movie of all time is still a Disney Marvel movie. Alright guys, that's all the topics that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And if you are listening to this on WZBT Gettysburg, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Ethan Cannistra, Ethan Cannistra. Stay tuned for more videos on this channel, and remember to tune in next Thursday at 3 p.m. for more movie news on YouTube and WZBT Gettysburg. And until next time, goodbye.